Hi, how you doing? Okay, yeah, I just filmed a really long video about this and lost it. I don't know where it went. Maybe it'll show up later. I'm not sure. But it was too long. Anyway, I'll try to make this quick. What is it with this whole sports thing? I mean, because most of my friends all my life have been musicians, and as a rule, practically not. We're punk rockers. We're not into sports. It's like, kind of a punk rocker be into sports? you know. But anyway, so yeah, because I grew up in a world with a lot of sports. My dad, that's all he really cares about besides work, and blackjack is sports. He also likes, I'd later learned as a teenager, Rolling Stones and Bob Dylan. We have that in common, so that's pretty cool. And we like the mountains and blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of things, He's definitely my dad, but the football thing, I was a big disappointment. We'd go out into the neighborhood and organize football games and everything, and he'd try to teach me to play, and I'd run the wrong direction, and I just never knew what was going on, and you know, and I still just like I never disliked football. Like I actually had a football helmet and football pads and a football, and I'd like pretend like I was a football player in my backyard, and I always liked football. And once I remember, because we watched, I can't remember what Super Bowl it was or something, but I think that it was a Super Bowl. This football player did a backflip, and so I ran out into the backyard, a backflip on the ground. So I tried it, and I landed right on my head, right on top of my head. Probably look at it, break my neck, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I always liked sports. I never disliked sports. I just wasn't good, and everybody wanted me to be good because I'm like 6'3", so everybody wanted me to be a basketball player. And same thing, it hit me in the face. I couldn't make a shot. I never knew what was going on. I'd run the wrong direction. But then finally, I liked baseball, and I could play baseball. And I never tried soccer. Now I wonder if I would have liked soccer but since female hormones, I got better at sports, and I tried to play soccer just because I had a dog, and the dog would chase the ball, and at first we could basically play soccer together with my dog, but anyway, and I was like, oh wow, I should have, like, why am I so good at this? I'm actually kind of good at soccer. It's kind of cool, but maybe I would have back then. I don't know, but I just couldn't. The football didn't make sense, and then so I played baseball all my life, like from t-ball all the way to junior high. When Van Halen 1984 album came out, and I found Van Halen, I'd already was listening to AC/DC and Iron Maiden, and that's where I started with heavy metal. But 1984 Van Halen, I was this diehard Van Halen fan, and it replaced baseball basically. And I never was any good anyway, but I never disliked anything. And so anyway, so my dad, like, he was against the rules watching anything but football. So when we watched football, my dad wanted me to be a Cowboys fan. This is the 70s. Those of you remember, everybody was either a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan. My dad, it was stupid if you weren't a Cowboys fan, and so I was a Cowboys fan, but I wanted to be an Eagles fan, and I always wanted to be an Eagles fan, so now I'm more actively pursuing that, and kind of a newer fan, and really getting into it. I chose a favorite team from all of them. My son and I, for a while, were following the Angels, but he's older now. He's 22 years old, so it's like, we don't have to like the same team. I want to be I like the Celtics, and I like Boston teams, except Philadelphia. I don't want to be a Patriots fan. I want to be an Eagles fan, and I just watched them kick their butt. That was so cool. The Super Bowl, it was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this. I like the Eagles. It's like I've always liked the Celtics a great deal. The Celtics and the Eagles are my team, but I like the Red Sox, especially considering that's what my real background is baseball, and that's the game that I understand the most, and have them, blah blah blah. But since Spain, I don't know. I played a lot of basketball in Spain. I do, but I like all sports. I'm pretty sure. I even invented a sport. It's in my book. When I get that published soon, you'll see. I invented that game a long time ago when I was a kid. And I'd organize it was called Rough Board, and I'd organize rough board games with all the neighborhood kids, just like my dad would with football. But I invented a new sport, and it was a combination of soccer, baseball, and football. In my book, it's a little bit different. It's better the way it's in my book. But anyway, so I have quite a background with sports, though I'm not real good at it, and it's just I've been around more football than anything as far as because of my background. My dad played college football. Did I mention that? I can't remember. So yeah, he was a college football player. And when he would teach me, teaching moments, he would say, my coach used to say, and like this and that. And when we'd watch football games, we'd sit down with a tub of butter, a bunch of saltine crackers, and a bunch of shelled peanuts. And we'd shell peanuts and scrape margarine over, because if you know me, I'm real skinny, so maybe my dad's more skinny than you. That's what his coach told him to do, so he wouldn't be so skinny. Whenever you watch TV, sit down with some butter, some saltine crackers, and some shelled peanuts, and eat them all while you're watching TV, So anyway, so that's why I got my Rawlings mitt. That was always my dream. I always wanted a Rawlings mitt just like this one. They didn't used to have this black spray paint looking stuff on the tips, which I like it. This is what they look like nowadays, so it's got to be better. But yeah, so I do really like sports, and I like to play sports. And I'm liking right now, the thing I like probably most about sports is being an Eagles fan, and just why I watch podcasts all the time, and having a good time.